Can love, the most complex human emotion, be dictated by artificial intelligence?
That's a provocative question, Jason. Coded into zeros and ones, can AI pierce the heart of love's mystery?
It's a brave new world, Eunseo. Our dating scene is experiencing a dramatic revolution thanks to these digital Cupids.
Yes, the landscape of love and the journey of relationship building has certainly been redefined.
Finding that perfect partner, someone who complements our quirks, understands our strengths and weaknesses, is no easy task, but AI seems ready to accept that challenge.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Can a machine algorithm understand us at a level that allows effective matchmaking?
Or does machine precision aid where human intuition falls short in unraveling the complexities of love? You see, Eunseo, traditional dating methods predominantly relied on coincidental meetings and shared life experiences, but the notion of stumbling upon the one in a coffee shop or during a hike seems almost sacrosanct now, doesn't it?
Certainly, in a way it feels like the age of Jane Austen has taken a leap into Saturn. But how different is AI dating, really?
There's a world of difference indeed. For starters, AI eliminates the uncertainty factor. It gives you a buffet of options that more closely align with your preferences by analyzing your responses, choices, and indeed, even the duration spent looking at a profile.
That might be quite efficient, but isn't there an uncanny resemblance between AI and grocery shopping?
That's one way to look at it. However, remember, AI is not playing replacement, it's playing assistant. It's akin to a friend secretly setting you up on a blind date, except it's an algorithm doing that based on your already shared preferences. Moreover, dating demographics have been positively impacted, Eunseo. Locations, backgrounds, and cultures are no longer barriers.
Sounds very inclusive, I give you that. But what's the catch here?
Well, the common criticism would fall onto commodification of romantic relationships and devaluing authentic human connection, not to mention the potential oversharing of personal information.
Moreover, how does one gauge authenticity when technology calls the shots?
That's a challenge, no doubt. We're largely reliant on the honesty of users. However, advancements are leading towards even detecting potential red flags in deception. The future we're steering towards, with ethical considerations, could not only shape squarer matches, but safer ones.
So if I understand this correctly, AI is compressing our vast world into a diverse village. In real time, is that it?
So let's talk about AI algorithms that drive this modern matchmaking, shall we?
Absolutely. I believe many are curious about how these algorithms select potential matches for us. You mentioned about AI analyzing our responses and choices. Can you elaborate?
Excellent point, Eunseo. Essentially, it's all about data. AI analyzes a user's attractiveness based on profile views, swipes, and interactions, which can include text chats or messages sent on the platform. Along with that, it uses machine learning and deep learning techniques to predict compatibility based on shared interests, personal values, and how users interact with different profiles. The more you use the app, the better it understands and caters your preferences.
Interesting. But Jason, while that seems fair, isn't there an element of human bias? We all have our preferences and dislikes, but what about unconscious bias that might be lurking?
You are on point, Eunseo. It's a legitimate issue. AI can be as impartial as the data it's trained on. If users exhibit bias in their choices, like preferring a particular race or age group, machine learning models may unintentionally accentuate these biases, leading to skewed suggestions. So, it is essential to incorporate fairness and impartiality measures in AI algorithms.
But isn't that where humans can come in, to improve the reliability of the choices made by AI?
Indeed, Eunseo, that's the concept of human in the loop. AI can leverage vast amounts of data and make quick decisions, but the final judgment often rests with humans. People still review recommended matches and decide whether or not to pursue. AI helps narrow down the search, but humans make the ultimate decision.
So what we're saying is, while AI can be a matchmaker, it doesn't entirely replace the human aspect of finding connections and building relationships.
Absolutely, Eunseo. AI assists in making dating more efficient, but human decision-making retains its place of importance. Can love truly be quantified? That's the next big question.
Quantified might not be the right word, but it's fascinating how AI may actually predict compatibility. How is that possible?
AI algorithms predict compatibility using data, like shared interests, values, and interactions. Using machine learning, it can identify patterns and relationships between variables leading to successful partnerships.
So it's not just the shared interests or experiences, but as well how these attributes and others interact. I mean, every relationship has its unique dynamics, right?
That's an insightful point, Eunseo. You're right. Every relationship is a unique mix of dynamics, but AI tries to understand and predict those through patterns observed in massive datasets. It's not perfect, and that's where human judgment kicks in.
Let's talk about success rates. Has AI actually improved the successful match rates?
Based on the insights I've gathered, AI-assisted matchmaking has indeed showed promising results. One case study presented an intriguing 26% increase in success rate after using an improved AI model. However, the findings aren't uniform across all studies and apps. Furthermore, success isn't as straightforward in love matters. Can an algorithm judge who we should love? That's worth pondering.
It brings to mind the weight we're willing to put on machines. Are we prepared to trust AI with deciding our romantic partners? And what about respect to boundaries like age, gender, race?
That is a deep abyss we're looking at. AI could be a tempting source of efficiency in finding the one, but at what cost? The way these AI algorithms could simplify complexities like love and attraction is both unsettling and fascinating.
On the other hand, we can't deny AI's effective role in preventing deceptive practices, can we? Catfishing, for example. Many apps use AI to verify users and filter out deceit.
Absolutely, Eunseo. AI can certainly act as a bouncer for our hearts. It provides a layer of safety, making the dating scene a bit less intimidating. Yet even in that aspect, ethical questions arise. How far should AI dig into our personal lives to safeguard us?
That's the crux indeed. At one end of the spectrum, we've AI keeping us safe from harm. Yet at another end, we face disconcerting possibility of overexposure. And let's not forget the uneasy potpourri of age, gender, race bias in datasets.
An AI is only as unbiased as the data it's trained on, so if we're feeding it biases prevalent in society, isn't it possible that it may end up perpetuating those?
Not to mention the fear of limiting human diversity by enforcing a certain type of match, according to previous patterns. It walks a fine line, doesn't it?
A razor-thin line, indeed. As we move forward with AI, it's crucial we ask such questions, challenging the ethical boundaries, and making sure we're applying this technology mindfully. Does the rise of AI in dating alter how we behave?
A fascinating question, Jason. We need to observe how our perceptions have shifted. For instance, are we more willing to accept a match presented by AI rather than a more traditional introduction?
I've seen folks who feel validated when they're matched via AI. Because of the supposed scientific method behind it, the match carries weight. It's reassuring in a way.
Yet, do we consider how the reliance on AI works two ways? Are we addicted to the thrill of matching with someone scientifically perfect for us? What about the letdown when reality doesn't meet expectation?
I see your point, Eunseo. We are placing ourselves in a bubble, expecting AI to make the optimal choice every single time. We may even view rejections less harshly when made by an algorithm.
On a broader scale, do you think AI matchmaking is making us more open-hearted, or are we becoming sheep herded by algorithms?
Personally, I believe AI has potential to broaden horizons. We tend to gravitate towards the familiar in partners. But AI, unburdened by such bias, might show us other delicious flavors we never thought to taste. But like any tool, it matters how we use it. Are we opening our hearts or outsourcing our judgment?
Such insightful thoughts, Jason. Maybe it's not the technology that is of concern, but our willingness to let it dictate our hearts. It prompts one to reflect on our own susceptibilities.
Here's a thought. Has AI changed our perception of love?
In what way, Jason?
Well, historically, love was this spontaneous, organic experience. An unexpected encounter, a stray look, then boom, you're smitten. With AI, it feels less random, more calculated.
So you're saying that AI, in aiming to find the perfect match, might be taking away from this unpredictability?
Possibly. We're allowing AI to decide who's suitable for us based on data points. Is that love, or is it a transaction?
That's a valid concern. But our idea of perfect love itself has been influenced by countless external factors: literature, culture, society, and now technology. Isn't it natural, then, for our concept of love to evolve?
I get that. But there's a fine line, isn't there? Are we aiming for love, or are we aiming for an optimized result? And how does that impact our expectations from a relationship?
True. This could lead to AI creating an unrealistic benchmark for ideal partners.
Yeah, and on the flip side, can our hearts cope if a scientifically perfect match turns out to be not so perfect in reality?
Perhaps as AI evolves and increasingly influences our love lives, we must evolve our expectations of love too. Recognize that perfect is a relative concept, even in algorithms.
So, looking at tangible numbers, how do AI-assisted relationships match up against traditional methods in terms of success rates?
I've been looking into this, and the results are actually quite surprising. There seems to be a subtle upward trend in the success rates of couples who met via AI-assisted matchmaking platforms compared to traditional ones.
Really? That's fascinating. But it begs the question, does that mean AI is more effective at bringing compatible people together, or could it just be that people who use AI-driven platforms might already have a more compatible perspective when it comes to relationships?
That's a great point, Jason. It's certainly worth considering both factors. On one hand, AI platforms do claim to focus on compatibility, making matches based on shared preferences, interests, and even personality traits. But on the other hand, people who resort to AI-based matchmaking might be more open-minded about love and relationships in the first place.
Exactly. They might be more flexible, adaptive, and willing to work on the relationship. Remember, a successful relationship also hinges on the effort and work invested by both partners. So, Eunseo, what's the verdict then? Could AI, in reality, be more successful at playing Cupid?
Studies do seem to point in that direction, Jason. And let's not forget that we also reviewed case studies where scientifically perfect matches ended up leading to successful long-term relationships. So while I wouldn't say AI is the definitive answer to finding your perfect match, it does appear to be playing a significant role in shaping the landscape of modern relationships.
And here we are, the heart of today's episode, real-life love stories that owe their beginnings to AI-assisted matchmaking. Digging into these stories gives us some truly fascinating insights into the common factors that have contributed to their success.
Exactly, Jason. Like the story of Emily and Jake. Emily, a project manager in her mid-30s, had recently moved to a smaller city for her job, leaving behind her social circle. She turned to AI-based dating platforms, since traditional methods offered limited options.
And the AI must have done its job well. I heard they hit it off right from their first online interaction.
Absolutely. Emily was matched with Jake, a local entrepreneur. What's interesting is they both had quite niche interests that wouldn't usually come up in casual conversation. Emily was passionate about Renaissance architecture, while Jake had an extensive rock collection. The AI algorithms identified these overlaps in their profiles. The couple shared that it was this unique shared interest which really sparked their connection.
And that's great to hear, isn't it? An AI that not only matches people using basic filters like age, location, or general interests, but digs deeper, unlocking niche interests that help forge stronger connections.
That's true. Another budding romance we came across was between Mia, a recent graduate looking for her first job, and Darren, a successful restaurateur in his late 40s. You have to wonder, without the intervention of this AI, would their paths have ever crossed?
It's worth pondering. An educational gap, differing career paths, and the age difference might have deterred them in a non-digital setting, and yet AI saw potential in their match.
It did. Mia mentioned her passion for food and culinary arts in her profile, while Darren, despite his business-centric profile, had stated that he values learning and intellect in a partner. There's no denying that their story wouldn't have been possible without the power of AI-assisted matchmaking, and they both acknowledged that.
Let's consider the flip side for a moment. With AI matchmaking offering so many possibilities, it brings forward unforeseen complications as well. For instance, we've seen a rise in ghosting. Pun unintended, this phenomenon, as you know, is when someone suddenly ceases all communication without explanation.
That's right, Jason. And one may wonder, does the convenience and detachment provided by AI-enabled platforms play into this?
Could be. The ease of interaction could potentially lower the stakes in communication, making it simpler for people to just disappear without confrontation. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, Eunseo, do you think we can blame AI for fostering unrealistic relationship expectations?
Indeed, Jason. We can't overlook the fact that AI matchmaking, with its algorithms and the illusion of boundless choice, can inadvertently create a buffet mindset, a belief that there is always a perfect match waiting out there, one click away. It also pressures individuals to present a near-perfect online persona, which might hinder authenticity.
True, authenticity can certainly take a hit, and that's an essential ingredient for meaningful relationships. Then there's the whole ethical can of worms. When does AI cross the line? How far do you think is too far when it comes to its involvement in our love lives?
That's a hard line to draw, Jason. And it's something we as a society need to navigate as we go along. The predictions AI can make about our romantic preferences, potential mates, it can feel invasive. Is privacy being sacrificed at the altar of efficiency in our quest for love?
That's the paradox, isn't it? We could end up paying a steep price for expedited romance, an interesting contemplation to chew on. When we look at romance in the future, AI's potential to replace traditional dating resembles the plotline from a sci-fi novel.
It indeed sounds futuristic. But before we lose ourselves in dreams, it's important to keep in mind that different cultures around the globe have diverse dating and romance customs. It's hard to envision one AI embracing all.
Great point, Eunseo. There may well be a one-size-fits-all algorithm out there, but it might overlook nuances. And let's be real, it's these nuances often add spice to our love stories.
Absolutely, Jason. Speaking of spice, imagine technology getting so advanced that AI doesn't just introduce us to potential partners, but also predicts emotional responses, compatibility, heck, even predicts the usual dating fiascos.
Now, that definitely transcends boundaries. Wouldn't we rob ourselves of some real feelings and experiences if we let AI intervene that deeply? Discovering and navigating those highs and lows together is what builds a strong bond.
Definitely, Jason. AI might be brilliant with data predictions, but the realm of emotions, particularly love, is not its strength. Therefore, striking a balance between human intuition and AI's capabilities seems crucial.
Balance is the key word here, Eunseo. There's also the legal aspect. With AI getting more intimate with our personal lives, can conventional laws for relationships still hold up?
That's a substantial consideration, Jason. The future of AI in relationships won't just transform the essence of relationships, but might also entail a legal framework adaptation, as the existing laws may not be robust enough to cover AI-driven relationship complexities.
As we're discussing the promises and pitfalls of AI's role in romance, I think it's high time we took some questions from our listeners. What are your thoughts and experiences with AI matchmaking?
Right, how has this digital revolution in dating influenced your love life? Did AI matchmaking result in a spectacular love story, or did it end up complicating things? I'm certain our listeners have some intriguing experiences to share.
Absolutely. Let's start with this query. Does AI matchmaking lose the charm of traditional face-to-face initial meetings? That's an interesting point. Have we traded the magic of those first real interactions for this tech-assisted convenience?
Quite thought-provoking, Jason. We've another question from another listener. How do we ensure that AI doesn't promote superficiality, where we discard potential matches based on some algorithm's computation? On the surface, it seems AI could make us shallow, judging people too quickly. But isn't that also true for traditional dating?
Well, as much as technology advances, at the end of the day, we're humans with emotions and feelings. AI matchmaking might provide convenience, but surely it's our feelings and sentiments that turn a match into a love story. Or maybe it's about finding that perfect harmony between technology and traditional.
Harmony, yeah. To answer the initial question, maybe we haven't lost the charm, just changed the dynamics. As for superficiality, well, our internal compass should guide us. Tech can assist but shouldn't dominate our decisions. Anyway, it's time for our listeners to weigh in and share their own experiences.
Eunseo, let's pivot to what the experts are saying about this AI romance revolution. Have you heard anything interesting?
Well, Jason, psychologist Dr. Smith believes AI matchmaking system has a broad impact on human behavior. As per his observations, people change their behaviors to better align with algorithms' expectations, a phenomenon he refers to as algorithmic adaptation.
Right, so instead of AI understanding us, we start understanding the AI? That's somewhat ironic. How about the ethical considerations?
Dr. Lee, an AI ethicist, has expressed concerns regarding privacy invasion and the risk of dehumanization. If our romantic preferences are dictated by algorithms, are we slowly veering towards a less empathetic society?
An unsettling thought to ponder. I wonder, are there any sort of success metrics yet?
Engagement rates and longevity of relationships initiated by AI are two commonly referenced success metrics. The data varies quite a bit, but overall, AI seems to be holding its own in comparison to traditional methods.
Interesting, but future predictions must be tough, aren't they?
Most certainly. However, futurist Dr. Turner suggests that by 2040, AI might account for more than 50% of romantic relationships. A brave new world indeed, Jason.
What if, Eunseo, we let advanced AI set up our perfect date? Just imagine it, a digital Cupid taking care of every detail.
Are we talking about just matching preferences, or would it even mimic human intuition?
Why not both? AI, using intricate learning algorithms, might understand not only our preferences, but also our psyche and potential compatibilities better than we do ourselves.
So a date set up by AI might involve harmonizing factors like common interests, personality traits, even moods at the time. The perfect balance of adventure and comfort, spontaneity and predictability, catering to our emotional state and preferences in real time. I can see the courtship.
Right, Eunseo. AI could even fine-tune itself based on the feedback and responses during the date, adapting the atmosphere, changing the music or the temperature, maybe even ordering that special dessert you did not know you wanted.
Intriguing indeed, not to mention ultimate convenience, don't you think? But let's flip the coin. What if AI made erroneous matchmaking? Given its learning nature, wouldn't errors be inevitable?
Absolutely, Eunseo. Error is an integral part of any learning process. Let's say AI matched us contradicting our normal type, or it gets our dislikes wrong. There sure could be glitches.
Or worse, it might align us with someone who strategically games the AI system. What about a person who presents a constructed version of themselves online?
Indeed, how thoroughly can you know someone through a series of binary data points? But I mean, regardless of how sophisticated AI gets, the essential human aspects of love and relationships can't be underestimated. Genuine feelings, the thrill of tension, the gut instinct, the balance of certainty and mystery, don't they go far beyond algorithmic predictions? So, Eunseo, as we wrap up today's episode, reflecting back on everything we've discussed, AI certainly has a significant role to play in shaping our love stories. However, does that mean we should fully rely on it? I think the answer would be no, or at least not yet.
I agree, Jason. AI's constant evolution is making it smarter and more intuitive. It's getting better at matchmaking, enhancing compatibility prediction with seemingly impossible accuracy.
Yet, considering our ethics segment, there's this clear borderline that AI shouldn't cross. After all, there are aspects only humans can comprehend, like emotions, intentions, character beyond data points. Like me, I crave for a baseball date or my love for cooking.
Exactly. The thrill, the uncertainty, the experience learning about our partner. Nothing can replace that because love isn't just about efficiency. It's about mystery. It's about surprise and discovery. It's human.
So, given all that, I guess the conclusion is, let's use AI as a tool, a useful one to enhance our dating experience, to learn about potential partners and ourselves too.
Yes, Jason. AI is here to augment our experiences, not to replace our decisions. Let's remember, at its best, love is a delicate dance between logic and emotion. It's this balance that makes our journey beautiful.
Well said, Eunseo. It's all about balance. Too much technology and we lose the human touch, too little and we miss out on the benefits. Here's for balance in love and technology.
And as our listeners journey ahead on this path, they might ask, how much more can AI know about us than we know ourselves?